This is Helena Hart, and I'm talking with Adrienne Everheart again today. Adrienne is such a good friend of mine and such a brilliant coach. She's the author of the ABCs to Get Him Back and 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. And today we're going to be talking about what to do when a man needs space and what to say when he comes back. We've been getting so many questions in the comment sections of a lot of our videos that we've done together on this topic. It's just something that women want to know. Either a man says he needs space or he just starts pulling away and acting distant. I know how confusing that can be. We have all been there. And also what to do and say when he comes back. So Adrienne, thank you so much for joining me again today. I am really looking forward to talking with you and picking your brain about this topic because you are the total expert on this.
Well, Helena, thank you so much for having me. I remember the fear, the feeling of just your stomach, just, your heart just drops into your stomach when a guy tells you something like, I need a little space, I need a little time, or we need to take a break. I mean, it makes you so anxious because suddenly what felt very comfortable and in control feels out of control. And we often will jump into our masculine energy and start wanting to control the outcome. So we're going to share with you some tips today about just how to really handle this like a goddess on a pedestal, and also give you the best chances to really reattract him and pull his energy back into your life in a new way where the two of you will be much stronger together.
Yes, and make sure to watch this video all the way till the end because some of these things we're going to share are very counterintuitive. We were chatting before we started recording about, what we would do in this situation or what we would have one of our clients do. And it's really kind of the opposite of what a lot of people out there are teaching. So you might be surprised to hear some of this, but it's so important because we want you to get those long-term lasting, really permanent results. We're not looking for a quick fix here, right? If what you want to do is to pull this guy back in and have him stay there and not pull away again, this is how you do it. Now, of course, we know some people are going to say, well, if a guy needs space or pulls away, just dump him and move on. And if you're in a situation where a guy constantly pulls away every time you get close, he's like super hot and cold, of course, we'd support you in that situation, right? We don't want you hanging around a guy who just is constantly pulling away. But, men do pull away sometimes. Men need space sometimes, especially if you've been spending a lot of time with him, a lot of like bonding together time. Men do need to take some space for themselves sometimes, just for their testosterone levels to build back up. It's like a physiological need that they have where they can kind of feel like a man again and then come back in with more desire. Adrienne, do you agree with me there?
Guys really have to have this time away from us where they don't feel like they've lost their freedom and that their life is totally under your control or they have all this obligation. A man feeling free and feeling this freedom, but also this desire to want to claim you and have you in his life. I mean, that is really what we're going for here. And it's a balance. It's a balance in dating and relationships and in marriage, where the man has that sense of freedom, but at the same time, it just feels this overwhelming need or desire to want to really take care of you and be there for you and love you as well. So we're going to share with you some of these tips about just in case he drops a bomb on you or he starts pulling away or says he needs some space, what to do, what not to do, so that you will continue to feel wonderful and good, but also have the best chances of him coming back around and just really tying up his heart forever.
Absolutely. I love everything you said. It's just so true. So Adrienne, what's the first thing a woman should do when a man needs space, either if he verbally tells her he needs space or if she just gets the sense that he's acting a little distant or pulling away or taking some time to himself right now?
Well, Helena, you taught me this better than anyone, and that was just to really ask yourself that question: do I really want to have to do the work for this man? If I have to do all the work here, and if I have to put everything in place so he wants to be with me, or if I have to pursue or chase a man who's telling me he needs space, is that really, really what I want to do? So the first thing you want to do is agree with him. Say, okay, I totally get that you need some space, or I'm hearing you. And a part of me maybe feels a little sad that you need some space, but maybe I need some space too. Maybe there are some things that I can be doing for myself. And usually there is, because women, we can sometimes overfunction and our life becomes the man's life. And so this is where you want to really go back and start doing things just for you, whether that's start a blog you've been wanting to do, or a new exercise regimen, or a dance class, or more quality time with your family, or maybe you want to start a garden or clean out all your closets, whatever it may be. But it's really about how can you also take some time away from this man and make your life richer, more juicy, more strong, and the things that make you a powerful dynamite woman. So number one is agree with him and ask yourself that question about, do I really want to be involved with a guy that doesn't want to be pursuing me right now? Is this really what I want to have? Because it's a really scary feeling when a man asks for space. I mean, you think the worst, you feel the worst. Your masculine energy or your inner boy will want to just prove to him how much you love him and start doing all these things to let him know how much you care. And it's just going to push him away more and more and more. I mean, am I right, Helena? You taught me this better than anybody.
Oh yeah, I mean, all our instincts. One of the top videos on my channel right now is 4 things you should never do when a man starts pulling away or starts acting distant. And it's all those things. We panic, we want to lean forward, we want to explain ourselves. So this is kind of the opposite of that, and it has to be authentic, of course. So find the part of yourself that is really like, do I want to spend my time convincing some man to spend time with me if he needs space? No, of course not. We don't want that for any of you guys, right? So just if he's actually coming to you and saying, I need a little space, I need a little time to myself this weekend, or God forbid, I need a break from this relationship, he's going to think that you're going to jump into convincing mode, and right? So this is a little, we're going for shock and awe here, but it's not a game, and it's not a manipulation tactic or a superficial strategy. Find that part of yourself that agrees with that. Like, yeah, you know what? I think it would feel good to take some space for myself too, and kind of figure out what I want, or take some time to myself, or whatever it is. Find that authentic part of you that actually agrees with that. And go ahead and say that. Now, if he's not coming to you telling you that he needs space, let's say he just kind of backs off, I wouldn't recommend leaning forward and going, oh, hey, I've noticed you've been distant, just to let you know I want some space too. Because to me, that feels like you're trying to do something. And we're not trying to do things here and grasp at a man and reach for him. We're doing the opposite. We're leaning back. We're taking your focus off of him, pulling that energy off of him and putting it on yourself and your own life, which is what draws him back towards you like a magnet. Right, Adrienne?
Oh, Helena, I'm so glad you brought that up. I didn't even think about that. Is that when the guy pulls back and he's not really announcing it, because so often guys don't, they don't really announce what they're feeling. That's where you just take notice, you observe, and go ahead and ask yourself, where am I neglecting myself in my life? I always tell everybody, if you're feeling something, if you're feeling unloved, or if you're feeling neglected, or you're feeling like your guy doesn't spend enough quality time with you, this is where you want to go, oh, where am I not spending enough quality time with either myself or other things in my life, or even other people? For me, a big one that I used to do is when a guy would come into my life, I would forget my family. I would forget my friends almost immediately, and nurture that part. So if you're feeling unloved, a little distance, a little space, just ask yourself, so where can I give myself the reverse of that? Where in my life am I being distant, and am I giving something too much space? And you begin to just activate this other part of your feminine energy that wants to totally make your life wonderful, rich, full, and juicy. And this is what the man notices. This is what pulls the man to you every time. Are you ready for me to go on to step number 2?
Absolutely. Loved everything you shared. Yes, let's hear it. What's the next thing a woman should do when a man asks for space or just takes space on his own?
Turn yourself onto high vibe people, including men. So this is where you want to really get into some situations, groups, activities, things that are high vibe, things that feel good. You do not want to sit at home alone watching the Lifetime channel, or crying in your shower, or anything else, or calling all your girlfriends and telling them that your guy is pulling away. That is going to just get you back into that low vibe energy. And you definitely might feel a little bit of time that you want to grieve if your guy's pulling away. You want to notice it. Of course, notice how you're feeling in that moment. But the longer you stay down there and you wallow, the less attractive you become. And you're not going to be attractive to a man if you're just down in the ditch and you're wallowing and you're feeling bad about yourself and you're worried and you're scared. You have got to take control of your life, get yourself around some high vibe people, some feel good energy people, and most important, go out and about and accept arrows from men. We call that quantum dating or circular dating. You want to just go out and just take notice when men are noticing you and smile and receive it. And you really want to do that all the time. But you definitely want to amp it up if your guy is giving you lots of space or saying that he needs some space.
Absolutely. And again, not just strategically make him jealous or anything like that, or to like fill some void by going through the motions. That's just going to make you feel worse when you get back home, right? Adrienne, for those ladies watching who aren't familiar with quantum dating and some of your tools, can you explain what you mean by accepting arrows? What does that mean exactly?
So when you're out and about, men are looking at you and they're noticing you and they're, hollering your way a little bit. And it's so easy the ego wants to pretend like they don't exist. And instead, I want you to notice them. And I joke with everyone that it usually starts at the bottom level for some reason. I don't know why, but and this is with all respect to anyone who is in any sort of financial or economic status. It usually starts with the homeless guy outside your building. And he will be the first one that just says, "Hey, pretty lady." And you usually ignore him. But on this day, I want you to go, "Oh, thank you," and just keep walking. And another man will look your way and just, accept that arrow and smile and do your little head tilt and hello. And just today I was out shopping at the farmer's market with my girlfriend, and this young man, I was looking at all the flowers he had, and he noticed me from afar, and I just went, "Hi." And my girlfriend said, she goes, "You can just flirt with all these guys so easy." I don't even look at it as flirting. He noticed me, and I know what he's noticing, that I'm a woman and that I have feminine energy, and the guys like that. And so I'm going to go, "Hi." And you just grab that arrow right out of the air and you keep it, because that's your power. That's your ammunition. You get stronger and stronger and stronger with every arrow you accept. So for me, that's part of quantum dating. Like if you're in a relationship, like I am, I'm married, but I still quantum date. I still accept arrows from men and talk to lots of men. And another guy at the farmer's market was like, "So do you got anybody to help you dig these holes to plant these plants?" And I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." You accept that arrow and you just glow and glow and glow with more feminine energy. The more arrows you accept, the more arrows you will receive. It just builds upon itself, does it not, Helena?
Yes, they're like shooting arrows at you. And normally we want to shut down. We don't want to accept those arrows, right? Because we're all focused on this guy, or we think this guy's gross. So we don't want to just be open to another human being who's showed up and is right in front of us. But I love what you talk about. I don't know if you call it leaping levels or moving up tiers, I think is the way you explain moving up tiers, right? Where you open your energy up to other people and you expand, your energy field expands. And when your feminine energy expands, it's like a magnetic field that draws everybody in. And moving up tiers means you're moving up to better and better potential matches for you, right? Higher quality men that you actually want the attention from. So I love how you explain that. Thank you for that. Should we move on to the next thing now?
Yeah, the next one is change up your routine. And a lot of this has to do with moving up those tiers. Sometimes we feel like, "Oh, if I accept arrows from a man, I'm dirty or I'm bad, or that's what I shouldn't be doing." We have a lot of guilt about being beautiful, powerful, dynamite women. So, change up your routine. If you're stuck in the mental routine of, "I'm not supposed to look at other men, I'm not supposed to talk to other men," or whatever, change up that routine and no, I'm going to go out for lunch today. Instead of packing my little salad, my can of tuna, I'm going to go out for lunch today and I'm going to sit at the bar and I'm going to be open to any man who wants to speak to me or talk to me. I'm just going to be open. So you're changing up your routine. change the way you drive home, change which side you sleep on the bed. That's a big one. And, you know, anything that you can do to change up your energy. And so you're not predictable. When a man has curiosity about you, when he notices that something about you has changed, as subtle as your energy, he'll get more attracted to you. So change up your routine, change up how you're normally doing things, and the guy will begin to notice. But more than that, you will just get more grounded in your life, more confident in your feminine energy. And that confidence is very attractive to men. It's very attractive.
I love it. And just like everything else, which is not about him. It's not about the effect it's going to have on him. Yes, he's going to feel more attracted to you when you shake things up and you look in the mirror and you see a new face on yourself, right? A really high vibe, magnetic, irresistible, feminine energy woman. Of course, he's going to be more intrigued and interested and attracted to you and curious about you. But it's not about him. It's about you and your vibe, shifting your vibe and how you feel. So when a man comes back, we're moving into what to do when he comes back. The whole energy shifted. If he comes back and he's just hit with like, where have you been? What have you been doing when you're taking space? Why did it take you so long to get back to me? There's nothing to compel him to keep coming towards you. And that's also kind of predictable and boring. And unless a guy is like addicted to the drama, which is not the kind of guy you want anyway, right? There's nothing to compel him to keep coming closer. But when he shows back up, and he will, absolutely, of course he will. Every woman asks us, like, do men come back around? And the answer is yes, they almost always come back around. Like, what would you say, 95 to 99% of the time? You will hear from this man again. We can almost guarantee. Yeah.
They come back around at a surprising rate.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was talking to like 3 different clients this week. I'm like, oh, that always happens. The guy always comes back around, right? It's just the way it works. It's classic, right? Classic male behavior. The minute he senses that you might be, you know, moving on or shifting your vibe, or that he doesn't have you in his back pocket anymore, he's going to show right back up. So when he does, you want to be, you know, have this high vibe energy. And the first couple things we shared at the beginning of this video is that's exactly how you do it. So Adrienne, what's the next thing you have to share about, you know, when a man comes back?
Before he comes back, sometimes at that in-between place, you have your social media to contend with. And I always tell everybody, when it comes to social media, take a break on posting. Just take a break from all that social media, because if you post and he doesn't like it, then you're going to feel bad, and that's going to just expand on all those feel bad feelings. So be mysterious, like Helena's suggesting, just and authentically focus more on your life. Turn your phone off, put your phone down for hours. I always love it on Sunday morning. I wake up and it says your screen time was down 17%. Try and get your screen time down for the week and just focus on this real beautiful life that's happening around you. Don't look at his social media. It's just going to muddle up your energy. It's going to cloud up your energy. Don't worry, ladies. He's looking at yours. He's watching everything you're doing. I can pretty much guarantee you that when he comes back around, you know, if you do post something on social media or something that feels really good and wonderful and powerful to you, you're not doing it hoping that he'll see it or hoping that he'll like it. I was completely shocked. Everyone knows that my husband and I had several breakups. One point he came back to me and it's like he knew all these things I had been up to, totally based from social media, and he hadn't commented on any of them. And a couple of things he even told me, he goes, oh, when I saw that you went to this place, that's our place. I was so hurt when you went to our place without me. And I'm like, well, I'm just a phone call away, right? But that mystery, that wonderful feeling that when that guy comes back around, you will have, like Helena said so beautifully, you will be this new face in the mirror. Your energy will have changed. Now, ladies, long term, those of you that are married, you want to keep that relationship fresh and exciting every day. You want to be doing these things every single day. Every single day, you want to be practicing them so that man will be chasing you forever. But when the guy finally does come back around after he's asked for his space and he shows back up in your life, the number one thing I suggest doing is just nod and listen. Give him open forum. You don't know what he's been up to. You don't know. I mean, has he had to go hike through the desert for days? What does he have to do to get back in touch with himself? I don't know. And you'll be kind of scared. That's normal. You'll be scared. What's this guy going to tell me? Is he going to break up with me? Is he going to ask for his ring back? I don't know. But just nod and listen. I have had so many men tell me that they will sometimes go into something with a woman predetermined what they're going to say or do. And at the last minute, she does something and they fall in love with her all over again. So when you just pull all your energy, all your expectation off of him, you just show up, you give him open forum, you nod and listen, look him right in the eyes, nod and listen. You know, he's going to see that new face in the mirror. He's going to feel your different energy. I believe things will go very, very good for you. It will be a positive moment in your relationship. So you can build on that. You can build on that and create a stronger relationship. When you guys can trust each other, one of you can take a little time away or be a little distant, and it's not the end of the relationship. That's what the two of you build together in your relationship together. This is part of that process, trusting one another.
Oh my gosh, I'm loving everything you said. This is what I'm talking about. A lot of people out there will say, oh, post a bunch of stuff on social media. Let them know that you're out having fun and you want to live your life, right? It's like, if I get questions like, should I post this or not? And I always ask that classic question. I always ask, what are you hoping will happen? Are you hoping he'll see it and get jealous? Then no, don't do that, because it's not about him. Again, this is about you and what feels good to you, right? So if you feel inspired, okay, go ahead. But I love what Adrienne has to say is, be a little more mysterious on there. Don't be so, it's just, to me, it's kind of like a desperate energy, breaking up with a guy or taking some space and all of a sudden posting all these pictures. Of course, yes, he will probably be jealous. And like Adrienne said, of course, he's probably checking up on you. I was trying not to laugh too hard over here because the camera switches back when one of us gets too loud. But we've all been there. I was cracking up because who hasn't been there, right? It's so, yes, kind of like a leaned back energy. If there's nothing there, he's going to be curious as to what you're doing, right? So you might want to limit that a little bit. Of course, it's up to you. Do what you feel inspired to do, but don't do it because of the result or the effect that it'll have on him. Just you're thinking too small. You're getting too focused on him. You want to take your focus off of him 1,000,000%, put it on yourself in your own life. And you might be surprised how quickly you hear from this guy, right, Adrienne? Any tips on, I know you're the expert on what to say to a man. You have an amazing ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. And also with the ABCs to get him back. This topic kind of combines both of those, doesn't it? So what could a woman say when a guy comes back towards her? I love what you said with the listening and the pausing and not pushing your energy out towards him. Any other tips on how to have a conversation with a guy when he does come back towards you?
Oh, I have so many things to say about that. And you're right. In 500 Ways, I teach you how to find what you're feeling in that moment. For example, I felt really scared. I felt really unsure. That's such a vulnerable thing to say to a man. I've missed connecting with you and I've missed you. This is real. This is vulnerability. You see, more important though, sometimes it's not what we say. Silence is a very crucial part of, again, building that trust. That man wants to know that he can ultimately have some sort of freedom in his life. And if he's feeling like your energy is just encroaching too much on his space and he's going to need some time away from you, that is a wake-up call for you to say, oh my goodness, how is my energy all over this man? And what am I doing in hopes of the outcome, like Helena said before? So when he comes back around, just have this open energy, this openness to you, nod and listen. He may show up and say, you know what, I can't be in this relationship anymore. I had time apart and I've really come to the conclusion I can't be in a relationship with you. Ladies, one of the most powerful things you can say to him is, well, I feel really sad, but okay. And then nothing else, because then he has to sit with that decision. And that is the most powerful thing that can happen for you, because once he sits with it and he goes, all right, well, bye then, I guess. And then 40 minutes later, he texts your phone. And this is what men do, right, Helena?
Yeah, I'm totally cracking up over here because we've all been there. Adrienne and I have, shared experiences. And so absolutely, that is what they do. They make a decision and then they second guess it. Or what do? They test the waters to see if they still have you in their back pocket, so to speak, to see if they can keep you around as a friend, right? They test it. Even a good guy will test the waters a little bit and reach out to see what your response is, because he just lost out on this great thing. Even your friendship and your energy is this huge valuable gift. So if he's coming to you to like have a breakup conversation, you are like still in convincing mode, or you're like, okay, sure, we can still be friends because you just want his energy around you. It's just not the way to go, right? I love what you said. I feel sad hearing that, and okay. And that is it. That's so unexpected. He will come back around and test the waters again. Now that we're talking about this, Adrienne, what are your thoughts on that? Because if it is, there's obviously so many different situations here. Every situation is different. This is when working with a coach can be tremendously helpful, because men, they do tend to test the waters and come back around, even if he's the one who broke up with you. Any thoughts there? I mean, I would love to hear everything you have to say on that.
I'm just giggling so much because this is really what guys do. I have women every day message me and go, my guy broke up with me, but he just texted me 20 minutes ago and he wants to know if I'm dating someone else. And I'm like, what's happening here? He's still having this emotional connection with you, you see. I have this in 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. This is part of the process I teach you in the ABCs to get him back, which is men will regret breaking up with you pretty quickly. In fact, I think there are some guys out there that break up with you to test and see how bad you're going to freak out or what you're going to do. And again, it doesn't make them bad men. This is just how men sometimes do things on a very instinctual level. It doesn't mean they're bad guys. I mean, women, we do plenty of manipulative, test the guy sort of things as well. So you're watching this video clearly because you want to be tuned into something higher and more intelligent than just your animal impulses. So one of the best things you can do, again, is just drop down into your body, really find what you're feeling. Make sure, as Helena says, it's not about what do I want to get him to do, and it isn't about him. It's about what you feel. So for example, I feel so disrespected the way you've been treating me. That's about him. You're saying something about him. But instead, what does disrespected feel like? Well, I feel scared. I feel lonely. I felt isolated. I felt this big. Whatever it is you're feeling, you're just really finding authentically what you feel in your body. And if the man wants to walk away, he wants to leave, okay, I'll miss you. I'm going to be moving on. I'm going to go on with my life. Have that in your energy. Put your dating profile right back up. Put it up immediately. I can't tell you how often I work with women and they say, oh, it's been 2 weeks since we've broken up. And I say, please get yourself a dating profile so you can start practicing on other men and you're not just sitting at home alone crying. And they're very resistant, and they finally put up their dating profile, and you know what they find? They find their ex on that dating site, you see? And that is just sometimes the blow it takes for you to get out there and get your life moving again, you see? So ladies, stop. If this man breaks up with you, if he doesn't want you, if he doesn't feel like you're the most amazing, beautiful woman in his life, move on instantly. However, understand that moving on, the steps that you're taking, instead of blowing up his phone, instead of calling him and driving past his house or pleading with him and begging him back, when you actively move forward with your life, again, he can feel it in that energy of yours. You guys had this connection. That connection doesn't disappear, and he'll feel it. He'll feel that drifting apart. And more often than not, the man ends up coming back around before you even do the Hail Mary pass, which is something I talk about in the ABCs and some other videos. I can't talk about it all in this video, of course. It's definitely in my program, and it's in some other videos I've done with Helena about how to get.
I get women asking me about the Hail Mary pass all the time, and I'm like, Adrienne is just this world famous expert on how to reconnect your relationship, because that's just kind of a term that I hear a lot of people using now, which you came up with, which is so amazing. So so that's a situation if when the guy comes back, he comes back to have some sort of breakup conversation. What if he comes back, and this is just my own curiosity now, I know you're going to have so many great things to say about this, and he's just like, hey, what's up? How you been? What do you say there? Because that happens a lot too, right? He comes back with something, and it's not an explanation as to why he needed to take some space, but he just comes back, maybe to test the waters, maybe because he misses you or is curious as to what you've been up to. What would you have a woman do in that situation?
Okay, so he just shows up like nothing's happened, all cool and casual. A lot of women are gonna want to say, "Oh, honey, I missed you and you're back," and they're just gonna want to just wrap your arms around him and be so excited that he's back around. And that's really tempting. However, I encourage you, get control of yourself. You don't want to go all in with this man again and start praising that he's back when you don't even know if he's going to claim you, if he's really going to be there with you, if he can really endure the hard times, the difficult times of a relationship, as well as the good times together. You see, that's ultimately what you're seeking in a partner, is that consistency, that he's going to really stick around and be there. So when the man starts sniffing around again and he comes back around and he just shows up and, hey, how have you been doing? Treat it like date number one. Treat it like date number one. Do not fall back into bed with him immediately. Do not just start telling him everything that's been going on with your world. It's date number one. A lot of times the guy will say, so have you been screwing someone else? Have you been dating someone else? Is there another guy? And you want to be able to say, oh my goodness, I feel so strange being asked these questions. I'm not really sure what to say. And if he gets mad because, yeah, you went on a couple of coffee dates with a guy, or yeah, I kind of reconnected with a guy previously, or whatever it is, whatever has happened, that's your business, not his. But if he gets mad about it, he gets upset about it, you can just say, well, I feel really confused. You know, you let me know you didn't want me. You let me know that you weren't interested in me. So I'm really confused about this, you see. And there's this really classic Friends episode, the television show Friends, where Rachel and Ross are on a break. And Ross goes and immediately sleeps with someone new. Rachel finds out about it. But a break means a break. And so when the guy tells you, I need time for myself, or I need a break, you want to get specifics. What does that mean? Are we dating other people now? Are we single now? You got to let me know what that means. Get the terms and conditions understood. Don't just assume it means he's going to go again, hike through the desert for a few days and find himself. He might immediately start dating someone new from work who's lit him up. Get the specifics about what that means. We should have probably started with that, Helena. When a guy says, I need space, just what does that really, help me understand what that means about us. Just get that clarity about what that means for you guys as dating relationship or relationship. What does it mean? Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, if you're in an exclusive relationship specifically, right? If this is just some guy you started dating and you're not exclusive with him yet, there's no real need to say that. I mean, every situation's different, but yeah, if you're in a committed relationship, you want to know the last thing you want is for him to be off, dating someone else, and you're sitting there waiting for him because there's no clarity in the situation there. So yeah. Oh my gosh, Adrienne, I think this is surprisingly my favorite video I've ever recorded with you. This is not necessarily my favorite topic to talk about because it can be really tough. It's a painful situation, but all the tips you shared, oh my gosh, so refreshing, so just like the way it works. And I know this is going to get women those results they're looking for, whether they're looking to move on or whether they're looking to pull this guy back in and reconnect their relationship. It's really like the fastest route to what you want, which I love so much. I know we have a program we did together called From Heartbroken to Happily Ever After, where we really go into the specifics of this and find and keep the one without coming undone. If you're really looking to move on and attract the right man for you, who's not going to need all this space constantly, if this is a thing that's like always happening in your relationship. So every situation is different. Adrienne, I love everything you shared. Any other tips or anything, like you're just such an expert on this topic. I'd love to hear anything else you have to say before we close out.
Thank you, Helena. Well, I just think it's so cool when you can learn how to script yourself. I have this book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. I have the ABCs to get him back. I have a formula to help you get that man back into your life. And if you love videos with myself and Helena, We have that unzipped collection. It's got the VIP library, so many cool books in there. We worked really hard on those. We made them these quick little books so you could have them on your phone and kind of read them when you have a quick moment or whatever, and just get that information you need. When you learn how to do this, when you really learn how to get out of that thinking space up in your forehead and find what you're feeling in your body. I say this all the time, that this work begins and ends with how you feel. And when you can really discover how you feel, and you're not focused on the outcome, you're not focused on controlling the man or making a certain thing happen, that's when the magic will really begin to unfold in your life, and the man will authentically be drawn to you. You do not want a relationship that is built on manipulation or threats or fear. You want something that's really solid, vulnerable, and true. This is the truest work, the most honest work you'll ever do.
So if you don't mind, maybe recap everything for the ladies watching, and we love to hear from you too. What resonated with you? Go try some of these things next time this happens. But like we said, pulling away a little bit is a normal thing. I think it's called fractionation, where you go out and then you come back in, and you go out and you come back in even deeper sometimes, right? Like I said, the man can build his desire back up, then come back in and go, oh, she's okay with me kind of finding myself and individuating, like, this is the kind of woman I truly never want to lose, right? So if you can learn how to do some of these things correctly, the time a man needs away from you will be less and less over time, I've found. But you don't want to freak out and think it's just a normal thing that happens. Of course, if it's a healthy relationship and a man's not constantly doing this. So yes, Adrienne, I'd love to hear the recap of those points.
You know, even me, I'm happily married now for several years. But yeah, I mean, if my husband and I kind of rub each other the wrong way, which is going to happen to any relationship at any time, and he kind of goes on a really long bike ride, or he is in his music room or his office for an extended amount of time, I'll be sure and just like totally leave him alone and just have, you know, just do my own thing. Like, that's a signal that I need to really do my own thing. And then when he comes back around and he goes, what do you want for dinner? He's back. You see, I'm warm, very warm and receptive. And that is really what makes that relationship really strong, is that we can trust each other. Guys are going to need time alone. That's just a fact. And I think just embrace it. It'll make that relationship really strong. So to recap, number one is agree with him. And just really ask yourself, do I really want to have to force someone to be around me who doesn't want to be around me? Do I really want to be around someone who is telling me that they need space? So ask yourself that question honestly. Do I want to do the work for the man? So agree with him. It's always going to throw him off his center whenever you agree with a man. Even if they say, oh, you're being impossible to live with, go, well, okay, you're agreeing with him. It's not going to be what he's expecting, but it's a form of validation. It makes them, again, feel very safe. Number two is turn yourself on to high vibe people, high vibe situations. Start accepting arrows again, quantum dating. This is where you rev up your feel good stuff in your life. Number three is change your routine. Change everything about your routine that you possibly can. Get a nice bold highlight put in your hair, or get a nail polish you wouldn't normally wear, or go pick out, you know, like a floral dress if you normally just wear solids or things like that. You want to change up your routine, change up your style, just mix it all up and see what happens. Number four is social media. Take a big break from his social media. Don't look at it, ladies. It will just contaminate your thoughts or your feelings. And then if you do post something, I actually encourage you kind of tap the brakes with social media for a little bit. But if you do post something, post it really from your heart. Make it about what you're feeling or experiencing. And then number five, when the guy comes back around, because he always will, you want to just really nod and listen, give him open forum, just hear what he has to say. Just let him show up and hear what he has to say. Give him open forum, and then find what you're feeling in your body. It's okay to tell him that, yeah, I've missed you. I've missed connecting with you, or it feels so good to, you know, get together and chat like this. And just let him know, like, you know, I'm not going to freak out on you and punish you for life just because you needed a little time away.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. I just feel like your clients are like the luckiest women out there. And design, I feel so lucky getting to like hear, like do videos with you, and just this, you're such an expert on these really important topics that happen all the time. Like we said, we've all been there, and we all want to know what to say to a guy and what to do exactly. Like Adrienne said, that can be a time that stirs up a lot of anxiety and insecurity in us. And if you start to not trust yourself, it can be hard to know what to do. But once you try these things and start to get incredible results with them, it'll kind of become like second nature. It'll be kind of like your go-to, right? Pulling back, focusing on yourself, and then going from there. So this was phenomenal. Check out Heartbroken to Happily Ever After. That it will be the first link in the description right below this video. Also, we're bundling that right now with Find and Keep the One Without Coming Undone. So if you get those together, it'll be at a special bundle price. And Adrienne, I'll also post links to your 500 ways to talk to a man and the ABCs to get him back, because I know all the women watching this who are in this situation, if you want some more tools and tips around exactly what to do, I know those programs will be so helpful for them as well. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. Adrienne, thank you again, and I will talk to you soon.